Cinderella. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful little girl who didn't have any parents. Her stepmother was a stuck-up widow with 2 daughters. One of her daughters was prettier than the other. The beautiful little girl with no parents was called Cinderella. She was always made to do all the tough work around the house, like wash the clothes, mop the floors, and clean the chimneys. One day, the king of the land announced that there was going to be a grand ballroom party, and he invited all the young people in the kingdom to come and enjoy the festivities. "There's no way you're going, Cinderella," said her stepmother. "You will stay at the house cleaning the floors and preparing dinner for when we get back." And just like that, the day of the grand ball arrived. With great pain, Cinderella watched as her 2 stepsisters left for the royal palace. When she was alone in the kitchen, she couldn't help it, and she started sobbing. "Why do I always have to be so unfortunate?" she exclaimed. Suddenly, her fairy godmother appeared out of thin air. "Don't worry, my darling," said her fairy godmother. "You will be able to go to the grand ball, but only under one condition. When the clock strikes 12 midnight, you must come home, no matter what you're doing." Touching her with her magic wand, the fairy turned Cinderella's clothes into an astoundingly elegant ballroom gown. Then she transformed her hair into a beautiful wrap that made her look more beautiful than ever. When Cinderella arrived at the ball, she was met with great admiration. She entered onto the ballroom floor, and the king was so affected by her beauty, he danced with her all night long. Her stepsisters didn't even recognize her, and they asked each other who this mysteriously beautiful girl could be. Just as Cinderella was having the time of her life, she heard the big ballroom clock strike 12 midnight as the bells rang out. She exclaimed, "Oh, my lord, I have to go!" Cinderella quickly left the party, but she lost a slipper as she was going down the front steps of the palace. The king chased after her, but he never got to say goodbye, and all he was left with was the slipper she had left behind. But the king was so in love with her that he came up with an idea to see her once again. "I will marry the woman who can fit this slipper." He set out with his riders to inform the kingdom. All the maidens of the land tried in vain to fit into the shoe, but no one could accomplish the task. After lots of searching, the king and his men finally arrived at Cinderella's house. First, Cinderella's stepsisters tried on the shoe, but it didn't fit either of them. And as Cinderella put on the slipper, everyone was taken aback at the ease